This broadcast of the NRL was proudly brought to you by Scale Rice, Milo, Ella Motors, Lay Biscuit Company, Flame Oil, and SP Brewery.
The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, I'm Rex Lita with the news. Yiddish edition. Fashion for Peace runway hosted. Antis's campaign came to an end. And Brothers reclaimed cup. The PNG Fashion and Design Week runway remains one PNG platforms that thrives on the creativity, skill and passion of ordinary Papua New Guineans who simply want to earn a living and happy lives.
Saturday evening was a collaboration between the PNG Fashion and Design Week and students from the Creative Arts and Design strand at the University of Papua New Guinea. Shout out to all the designers, models and behind-the-scenes crews who worked so hard to pull off a massive runway show last night for PNG Fashion and Design Week.
Bringing such a platform that encourages the young students to recognize that you can be a lawyer and a doctor, but while you're waiting for those your studies in those areas, you can look at creativity, because we are all have creativity within us, and we can earn money from having your motifs, your traditional designs onto the runway like this. Yeah.
The festival raises awareness and advocates for sustainable growth, addressing challenges such as intellectual property, market access, financing for small businesses, and the preservation of cultural heritage through fashion design. The vision of the festival is to develop a thriving and progressive creative economy in Papua New Guinea, while its mission is to foster the growth of the cultural and creative industries, support creative finances, engages suppliers, and recognizes industry players.
We would like to look at how the industry can contribute to export-driven initiatives. The government is quite serious about creating those economic zones, and why not have like an area where we set up factories and we encourage our own downstream processing in the fashion sector, so we can produce jeans, clothing out without designs on it and export it to the world.
Meantime, the highest accolade on the night went to the unstoppable Wandid Amini Korimbo, who showed not one but two collections. Wandid's efforts and typically high standard of design and execution did not go unnoticed, with the Central Designers collection declared the best of the night by judges. Runner-up was Natasha Tamanabai, followed by new Kokopo designer Elizabeth Wong. Maricela Kelleton, TV1 News.
The PNG Teaching Service Commission is actively engaged in refining the teachers' pay structure, aligning it with teachers' qualification and experience. This initiative aims to foster an environment where excellence thrives and the contribution of educators are duly recognized. The TSC Chairman Samson Wangi Homia said recognizing teachers' dedication and addressing their needs is essential for nurturing a thriving education ecosystem. Wangi Homia said Commission will collaborate closely with the Ministry of Education to facilitate the implementation of the changes to the teachers' compensation structure and benefit package. On Thursday, August 17, United States Congress member Representative Neil Dunn and Rep. Amata Radwagan from American Samoa conducted a series of bilateral meetings with PNG government, military, and civilian leadership and toured some of the many important sites in and around Port Moresby.
On the morning of Thursday, August 17, the delegation of United States Congress representatives visited the St. Therese Clinic at Hohola, Port Moresby. The clinic, operating since 1940, has been supported by the United States President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief and the U.S. Agency for Development for over 20 years. Dr. Neil Dunn, former Army doctor passionate about medical diplomacy, highlighted the significance of the investments made by USAID into health facilities supported by the aid organization.
Well, we're very proud to be here. We're very grateful for all the work you do. Amazing job. To do so much with so little, it's amazing.
I want to first thank and congratulate all of the personnel here. This is very special work that you do for the people, and especially given the fact that there are so few of you who are able to do this kind of work. We need many more people, and we were just very impressed with the way this clinic has been set up, and I wanted to just congratulate all of you.
Furthermore, Chief of Defense Force Major General Mark Goina and Deputy Secretary of Defense Simon Tunapai at the PNGDF headquarters, Murray Barracks, also hosted Dr. Dan and Ms. Raid Wagan last week Thursday. The short visit facilitated talks regarding the U.S. support to assist in PNG to meet its security gaps and other areas the U.S. can further assist. Mary Silla Kellerton, TVWAN News.
This is TVWAN News. We'll have news from abroad when we return. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Want to know to win a Scale Rice Matchy Pack? Scale Rice is giving away hundreds of really scale prizes for that Scale weekend. Prizes include over 200 Scale Rice Nambi set, over 190 Scale Rice Eskies, 44 JBL speakers with 2 wireless mics. To enter, buy any Scale Rice or Ori Rice product, write your name and contact details at the back of the receipt, drop in the entry box. There's 116 winners fortnightly, 16 promo locations and 4 fortnightly draws. Time to sold.
More details in store or follow us on our social pages. Terms and conditions apply.
Papua New Guinea. We love a reason for a family gathering. A reason to play. A reason to ignite the flame. A reason to cook the best with the best. Flame Oil, now PNG made for PNG cooking. Flame Oil, winning taste.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made.
Open Lens. Welcome back. Countries have been burning household waste on an industrial scale overseas for decades, but the technology has never caught on in Australia until now. The first standalone waste-to-energy plants that will burn rubbish to power homes are in the final stages of construction in Western Australia, with more facilities being proposed around the country.
After years in the pipeline, this waste-to-energy plant south of Perth is just a few months away from receiving its first household and commercial rubbish.
So the trucks will come in and reverse through these bays back to the bunker where they'll tip their waste.
They've been burning waste on a big scale overseas for decades. Some of the latest plants have even become tourist attractions. WA's version isn't quite as colourful, but it will do a similar job.
Our boiler will generate about 101 megawatts of thermal energy, and that will convert to just under 29 megawatts of electricity.
This is one of 2 waste-to-energy plants that are expected to open here next year. And together they'll process about 700,000 tonnes of waste a year and supply electricity for about 80,000 homes. For councils with landfill sites reaching capacity, the new plants can't open soon enough. Landfill sites emit methane, which traps heat and warms the planet much more than carbon dioxide.
We get our community to recycle everything possible that can be sorted out and not reused, and then anything that's residual going to the waste-to-energy plant. That's a good outcome.
But is it perfect? Well, no. According to the government's waste management hierarchy, waste to energy is close to the bottom of a list of preferred options. Recycling, reusing stuff, or avoiding waste in the first place are all preferable. Opponents say waste to energy will be seen as an easy way out.
What it is surrender. It is actually surrender. It's the total opposite of what we need to be doing right now, and that is knuckling down, redesigning products, investing in new technologies.
But proponents believe waste to energy will play a vital transitional role.
If we get to nirvana and zero waste where everything could be recycled, arguably we wouldn't need landfill or energy recovery. However, we're a really long way away from that point.
The industry wants a national framework to fast-track all waste recovery projects, including waste to energy.
Australia is in the grips of one of the worst ice addiction in the world, but the coast of the country's next generation has remained hidden. Thousands of babies who've been exposed to their mother's drug use are being born every year. But an investigation by Four Corners has revealed a system failing to deal with the crisis despite research showing these children can suffer lifelong consequences.
At 31 weeks pregnant, Alicia's substance use issues are at the front of her mind.
For me, I feel like me using drugs when I'm pregnant, that's the lowest I could have possibly gone. It's the one thing I said I would never, ever, ever, ever do, and I did it.
The 24-year-old was using ice and cannabis when she fell pregnant. She's been lucky to get a place in residential rehab before her baby is born, but it's been difficult to find help.
There's been points in my life where I've been in hospitals and I've been like begging, crying for help, and they've just looked at me like you're a worthless junkie kind of thing.
Thousands of Australian babies are born every year exposed to their mother's drug use.
The reality is that methamphetamines are highly, highly, highly addictive. We should be paying attention to this across the nation.
A Four Corners investigation has found key systems are failing to deal with this crisis, despite research showing babies exposed to methamphetamines can suffer long-term consequences. University of Auckland professor Tresha Walds is studying those effects.
We found the methamphetamine babies were lagging behind. The thing that we see the most is poor behavior on these children. A conduct disorder is likely to be what you're going to see as they get older.
Professor Wold says Australia needs to urgently invest in its own research.
It's a big problem in Australia. It's going to be an intergenerational problem.
Unlike fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, there's no diagnosis or specific funding for children exposed to drugs before birth.
New research paints a disturbing picture of what it's like in schools for students with disability. It shows they experience high rates of bullying, exclusion and a lack of support in the classroom.
Caitlin Narocki is finishing her homework before school. She'd rather be writing a story.
I would like to be an author, like writing books.
The 9-year-old is legally blind. She credits her support teacher at her primary school for teaching her Braille.
It is so important. Like, I couldn't have had anything better in my life.
You right? You want me to hold the back of it?
Yes, please.
Mum Jessica is worried the teacher who's been helping Caitlin for 4 years could soon lose her job because the Victorian government is scaling back a visiting teacher program.
And you can do your buttons. I'm actually really afraid for Caitlin because without these people in her life helping her, her education just isn't accessible.
New research details just how challenging school can be for students with disability. 70% of students with disability felt excluded from activities and events at school. 65% reported experiencing bullying.
Only 27% of students reported feeling like they got the support they needed to learn in the classroom. And so that statistics rings real alarm bells for us.
Parents are desperate with limited options. They can't use NDIS funding for support teachers and few can afford out-of-pocket costs.
I feel like we're in a bit of a rock and a hard place. We could try and get creative with our funding and risk getting in trouble for doing that and then not having the funds for other services she needs.
The Victorian government says it's maintaining 32 specialist teachers who support students with hearing and vision impairment, but consultation is ongoing. The agency running the NDIS says the states and territories have a responsibility to ensure support is provided to students with disability in school.
A win for some, but the fight for equity continues for others.
You are watching TVWAN News. Sports is next. Stay tuned.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SP Lager, Bunyamyumi.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaru, get up a big smile on face. Time for kimchi and a great fumu too. Sip, sip, the mumu, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Right across the nation, we eat snacks crackers. Emi Trubla. All get a young planalapun, only like him snacks crackers. Only make him here, no PNG, one-time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
Beauty is my business, but beauty sure is a tough game. Filters are great, but great skin, better. And that's why my skin deserves the best. So I choose self-care, soaps that gently nourish my skin, resulting in a radiant look, made with tropical ingredients. I trust self-care from City Pharmacy. So bring it on! My skin is ready and so am I.
Welcome back. The SP-PNG Hunters 2023 campaign came to an end at the hands of North's Devils on Saturday, 19th of August, falling short 30-40 in round 22 of the QRL Host Blast Cup. Although they finished on the wrong side of the scoreboard, the Hunters made the most of their last showing this season.
It's been a year of learning for the Hunters, who have developed out of sight just to miss out on a finals berth this season.
with one of the youngest and least experienced squads of the host plus cup competition. The Hunters have embraced the underdog tags all season and produced some memorable performances. A trademark try to Hunters prop Junior Rope kicked off an entertaining contest at Bishop Park, Brisbane on Saturday. As he's done all year, Judah Rimbu's craft from behind the ruck baffled Nott's goal line defense and gave Rob an opportunity to cross his way over the line. Searching low and using his strength to drive into the in goal, Rob gave the Hunters first points in the last game of the season. Try-scoring sensation Solowane almost added to Nott's troubles when the Hunters' backline combined smoothly down the right edge. It was the home side who finished strongest. A second try to Manasseh Kaho and a late finish for Jaden Stevens saw the Devils sneak away with a 40 points to 30 win, much to the delight of their home fans. It's hardly a disappointing end to the Hunters 2023 campaign, with key players like Rimbu, Jamie Mavoko Morea, Roderick Tai and Wallen Tauloi now all are full season older and wiser. The Hunters will begin the 2024 season with a host of confidence and experience, something they've lacked in previous years. Susan Oreape, TVWAN Sports.
Krema Usenko brothers are the 2023 champions of the Pepsi Capital Rugby Union competition after defeating Credit Corporation Harlequins 26 points to 13. Brothers reclaimed their cup title from the Harlequins who defeated them in the last grand final. The brothers maintained their winning streak to reclaim the CRU Cup title from the Credit Corporation Harlequins. The last year's grand final upset against Harlequins had been the motivation for this undefeated run to the grand final victory. Before grand final, brothers coach Joe Kautu made it clear that his side was ready to reclaim the title, and his words came to fruition.
Yeah, we're prepared. I'm not going to hide anything. We are really prepared for this game. Our loss last year is, made us come back really strong this year, and I'm sure my boys are going to be backing me up, and I'm always going to be there for them. It's not going to be a secret. We're coming in to reclaim the title.
The depleted Harlequins, on the other hand, was not up for the challenge despite trying to contain much stronger opposition to avenge their last year's grand final defeat. The Harlequins played piggies and defense in their semi-final matches to make the grand final. They had used most of their energy in those games and cannot stand the brothers' outfit, who had a week off before the grand final match. Although the Harlequins fought hard to remain in the contest, the brothers proved their title credentials to dominate the contest and win the title. The Harlequins may have lost this grand final, but fielded in 3 teams in the grand final, which is a great achievement for the club. The Harlequins at Women's, A-grade and Premier divisions made the grand final. Premier Men's and A-grade lost their matches, but Women's Division won. The Pepsi Capital Rugby Union competition came to its conclusion, with the brothers getting the cup back from Harlequins. Brothers will come next year to defend their title. Victoria will pay $380 million in compensation for pulling out of the hosting the 2026 Commonwealth Games after a deal with Games organizers was struck late last night. The Premier says the agreement is the best outcome for the state, but serious questions remain over the government's costings.
Making the case for a very costly mistake.
$380 million, not a dollar more, no court action. The matter is closed out and finalised.
The Premier and Treasurer in lockstep, defending the government's secret compensation deal with Commonwealth Games organisers. The government's numbers claim final estimates for the cancelled games had blown out by billions. Transport costs were estimated at $110 million. They trebled to $306 million. Police and security costs more than doubled to $492 million. Contingency and temporary overlays to make existing venues games ready both blew out by $200 million. While the athletes' villages were originally quoted at $250 million to build, the July estimate put the cost at more than 4 times that amount. And then there's additional cost pressures, adding a whopping $2 billion. The original business case for the Games showed the government had been warned early on its plans were high risk. But the Treasurer today pins the blame for the blowouts on a range of factors.
That hyper-escalation, shortfalls that we've encountered in regional accommodation, costs of displacing major sporting events, 12 interest rate rises. Russia invaded Ukraine.
If the Ukrainian war, if inflation have affected the Commonwealth Games, then surely they've affected everything else in the budget as well.
This is the best outcome that Victoria could get in those commercial terms.
Daniel Andrews is like the proverbial bank robber who wants credit for surrendering to police when they finally catch up with him.
There are already 3 separate investigations underway into the Commonwealth Games cancellation. It's hoped those inquiries will finally shed some light on just how the government got their numbers so very wrong.
And fresh from their victory over Matildas, the English side is gearing up for that clash against Spain. Sydney is awash with English supporters who are letting their true colours show.
We are absolutely pumped. We've been over here for about 4 or 5 weeks following the team everywhere. Adelaide, Brisbane, back down to Sydney.
They have exceeded expectations. The men must be really kicking themselves right now.
It's surreal, isn't it? It is, and what a platform for women's football, both here in Australia, we've seen it escalate, back at home it's escalated.
Just to be there live for their first ever final, if they win, that would be incredible.
She win the World Cup, we'll sing this song all night. Oh! World Cup, baby! Come on, England!
And now, the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. And that ends the news tonight. Have a top week ahead. Bye for now.
Was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.